Hey everybody, how you doing? Today's video, we're going to break down something very important that I feel confident you're going to get a ton of value from, especially if you're in a leadership position or management position where people answer to you and you have to lead people. And this also works if you have a boss or, we all kind of work for somebody in some way, form, or fashion that we have to communicate effectively. And we've heard the saying that your level of communication is going to equal your level of success. So we're going to break down today the 4 elements of a responsibility. Okay, so let's break this in. And the purpose of this video is to really make you aware of just how valuable understanding responsibility is and how to communicate it effectively, especially if you're in leadership. So number 1 is being aware that you have a responsibility. Okay, so if I am part of a team and the team is counting on me for some task, I have a responsibility in order for the team to carry out the vision, the plan. Am I aware that I have that responsibility? Many times in my history working with people, I realized that sometimes the people that maybe dropped the ball were not aware that they had to carry the ball to begin with. Okay, so people have to be made aware that they have a responsibility. Very important. And there is a difference between having and holding a responsibility. And I didn't quite understand that at first. So I'll use a personal example. So if I provide for my family, which is my responsibility, I have that responsibility to provide for my family. Now, if I got in a car accident today and I couldn't go to work tomorrow, do I still have that responsibility? And the answer is yes. But can I hold the responsibility? The answer is no. So if I do not communicate that effectively, say to my spouse, like, look, I'm aware that I have the responsibility, but I can no longer hold it, then I cannot communicate or say delegate accordingly to get the job done. And how many times has that happened in our line of work where we have a responsibility, but we're not holding it, right? And things break down because we do not delegate properly. And it's so important that delegation is a skill in and of itself. And when it comes to responsibility, a lot of breakdown happens because we do not delegate accordingly. Very important to understand the difference between having and holding a responsibility. Okay, number 2 is I need to know what's expected of me. So if I am assuming a role in a team and I am aware that I have a responsibility, I also need to be very clear. Okay, before we move forward, I need to be very clear on what's expected of me so that I don't drop the ball. Okay? And if you're a leader and you are delegating responsibility, it's important as your job as a leader to ensure, right, that the person you're delegating responsibility to or the people are very clear on what is expected of them in order for the mission to be achieved or the goal, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Number 3, right, do I have the ability to complete it, right? So if I am aware of the responsibility, okay, and I know what's expected of me, do I have the competency? Do I have the ability? Do I have the tools? Do I have the resources in order to achieve this task, this responsibility? And if how many times have we passed the ball to somebody in the office on the team, and we want them to succeed, but sometimes they fail because they didn't have the tools, they didn't have the ability, they didn't have the competency yet. And we might have set them up for failure instead of success because we put too much on them, thinking that they would just rise to the occasion, and we realized we might have done them a disservice, right? So it's very important that when you are delegating responsibility, that the people that you're delegating or the person you're delegating responsibility to is absolutely aware, right? They know with absolute clarity, and they have the tools and the resources and the competency to complete it. And number 4, guys, by far was very eye-opening for me because I think this is where I know I've gotten complacent, and I hope this will be a revelation for you as much as it was for me. Number 4 is I must accept this responsibility. So a lot of times I realized even as a leader, I have the ability to assume that, hey, I'm just going to push this on them. They know what needs to be done, and I expect it to get done. But I realized I never had that communication or feedback from the person I'm delegating to if they accepted this responsibility. And how many times has that happened in the past where breakdown happens from a certain task that you expected to happen, but the person dropped the ball? And then sometimes they are very, they feel bitter about it because they said, well, I never agreed to do this anyway. And that's when breakdown happens. So when we go through this whole process, the most important thing is once everything is achieved, we have to ask this person now, straight up, so everything that I've just laid on you, do you accept this responsibility? And you have to hear it. Don't just assume it. You have to hear it. Yes. And I'm crystal clear. I have the tools. I have the resources. I have the ability. Okay, I'm aware that this is my responsibility. I want to come through for the team. And yes, you can count on me. I accept this challenge. I accept this responsibility. Perfect. There's something empowering when we buy into it ourselves. Okay, but when someone tells us to do something that we never bought into, we almost can be bitter or resist that person or resent that person for putting something on us that we never agreed to begin with. I know that I've done that in the past, and it was just a great breakthrough for me to communicate more effectively with the people that I lead. So those are the 4 elements of responsibility. I hope you got value from this. Feel free to share this video. This is the type of content that I want to be sharing with you guys on this list. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next video. Have a good one.